Well, since 1913, people have flocked to the Greenbrier here in White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia for recreation, vacation, and just a nice getaway. A beautiful look at center court Creekside as we are all set for more World Team Tennis action. Day 16 of the 2020 season, and it's the Springfield Lasers set to take on the Vegas Rollers. Hi, everybody. Nick Gismondi with you here live on the Tennis Channel, getting you all set for an exciting day of coverage. One in the books already, this one and one more tonight to cap off an exciting Monday of tennis action from the Greenbrier as we push closer and closer to the playoffs that are just a week away. Let's take a look at the schedule as it sets up for today. One match in the books already. The Orange County Breakers trying to secure a spot in those playoffs to be one of the top four teams with a 23-16 win over the red-hot 9-3 Chicago Smash. Next up, it's the Springfield Lasers and the Vegas Rollers, two teams that might not make it into the playoffs, but certainly can affect other teams. And then tonight, the Orlando Storm and San Diego Aviators will cap off the evening. Well, some breaking news last night at the trade deadline that occurred at midnight. The Empire acquired Coco Vandeweghe and Nicole Melikar. A big pickup for Luke Jensen and the New York squad. They are an 8-2 record as a doubles team together, so some firepower there. The Aviators in return pick up Sabine Lisicki and Kaveh Kapeshki. We'll see that later on today. How does this play into everything? Well, the standings. The Freedoms and the Smash have already clinched spots, so the Orlando Storm in that third spot, but the New York Empire hanging on to spot 4 with this trade and the move that Coach Luke Jensen made, hoping to secure that a little further, potentially even move up. We will hear from Luke Jensen at halftime. We'll talk about that trade and much more. Of course, also what went into those last-minute heroics as the trade deadline expired last night. This is an exciting matchup today. The Bryan brothers will kick things off, and the two gentlemen that are going to call it, well, you're familiar with them. It's Leif Shiras and Mark Lucero. Boys?
Thanks very much, Gizmo. Yes, welcome in, everyone, to the Greenbrier. A nice matchup today for the Springfield Lasers, the two-time defending champion. Well, maybe a season they would like to have back at 3 wins, 8 losses. But Coach John Diager certainly will have them ready, particularly in the men's doubles. They'll be going up against the Rollers, one of the great doubles teams of all time. That's Bob and Mike Bryan. Of course, Robert Lindstedt and Jean-Julien Roger will play for the Lasers. So you've got, Mark, 4 Grand Slam champions, 4 veterans, and it may set the tempo for this match. How do you see the men's doubles shaking down?
Leaf, not just for this match, but for the rest of this season. Looking at what's happened this year, 3 months off from tournaments, this is their last chance to prepare for Cincinnati and the United States Open.
Yeah, certainly 4 great doubles teams. I should say 4 great players and 2 great teams. The Bryans, well, they got a 1-2 record in the last 3 or 4 sets in match tiebreaks, so haven't been able to win the big points, although they did beat Ram and Nakashima 5-4. It's going to be a couple of points that are going to decide it, right, Mark?
Yeah, it's going to be really close today. Look for Mike and Bob Bryan. They've switched sides. We'll talk more about that later. However, Robert Lindstedt with the big serve, Jean-Julien Roger at net, going to be very dangerous for Springfield.
Yeah, Roger is the speed merchant. Lindstedt is the man with the firepower who will try and set up his partner at the net. So the Lasers and the Rollers kicking it off. It's men's doubles first. We got plenty more great tennis throughout the day as well.
World Team Tennis is brought to you by World Team Tennis is brought to you by Geico. Did you know that Geico is now offering an extra 15% credit on car insurance? That's on top of what Geico could already save you. Visit geico.com to learn more. By the Greenbrier Valley in West Virginia, home to scenic trails and quiet rivers, friendly mountain towns, and America's resort, the Greenbrier. And by DraftKings. Download the DraftKings app and use promo code WTT to play free for thousands of dollars in prizes this season.
Now we are at Center Courts, just at Creekside. Fabulous stadium set in these beautiful Allegheny Mountains. The Lasers and the Rollers, and we're about to kick it off in men's doubles. Couldn't ask for a better setting, although it is a little bit warm and toasty today, a fair amount of humidity. Look now at our Wilson lineups and today's order of play. Mention the men's doubles first. Women's singles, Katie McNally, Ala Tomljanovic up next. And it's mixed doubles, women's doubles, and men's singles. Mitchell Kruger and Sam Querrey for the last match.
The last time Vegas and Springfield play, it was Querrey 5-1 over Kruger. Maybe Vegas is looking to catch up at the end if they're behind, give themselves a little cushion.
That's right, Vegas, the home side. So Tim Blankiron is the coach and captain. He sets the order of play. And here's Bob Bryan ready to tee this one off. Remind you of the rules. Lets are in play. Tough way to start the match. First ball's off the net cord. Test your reactions. Just a little wide as Rozier got that volley, excuse me, that return down low to the half volley. So a little bit of trouble for Bob Bryan in the opening game.
Should be 15-all. We have a scoreboard
I
error
think
after
that's
that
right,
ace
yeah.
on the first point.
Exactly. Thank you. All right, now we've got our score right. And the chair is Roger Pennington, Amarillo, Texas. Good serve from Bob there. 42 years of age, still producing alongside brother Mike. Of course, the brothers no longer out of Camarillo in California. They're both living in Florida. And most family men these days. So a little bit everything in this opening game. Got a double fault, score wrong.
Net court ace.
That's court ace. Not a surprise. That's what World Team Tennis is all about. Lindstedt strong and tall on the return, that time finding the net. Splits his time between Stockholm and Miami. Mentioned all these guys have Grand Slam titles. Lindstedt having won the Australian back in 2014. Rozier has a couple of Grand Slam titles, having won Wimbledon and the US Open.
That Jean-Julien Rozier backhand return does a nice job getting the ball low below the height of the net, making for a tough volley for the net man.
Yeah, if you have the choice, you'd rather see Rozier hitting a forehand. His two-hander is a thing of beauty. Let's see where Bob goes with this first serve. Missed it out wide. Katie McNally getting hit with that one. Oh, yes. Mike Bryan comes up with a volley winner. So Vegas on the board first. A reminder of the format. Sets to 5 games, 9-point tiebreaker at 4 games all. Home team, we mentioned, selects the order of play. And you have to be alert to no ad scoring. Every game counts, but also lets are in play. Substitutions, Mark, can be a key.
Calling timeouts between points. Only sport in the world as well. Men and women on the same team.
So here's the big Swede serving. Yeah, Lindstedt is a year older than the Bryans, so he's at 43, one of the oldest guys on tour, still playing some good tennis, his 3rd season in World Team Tennis. In fact, he was the Finals MVP last year for the Lasers. One reason why they're able to take home the title. Lindstedt with that heavy delivery, heavy serve. I think everything he hits pretty hard. He doesn't like to temporize.
Oh, it's a return that Mike Bryan hits so well. That off backhand for the one-hander. So good catching that ball out in front with a nice short swing, using the pace from the serve.
Hey, we talked a little bit at the top about how the Bryans changed receiving positions.
Yeah, it's actually something they did a few years ago. I was talking to their coach, Dave Marshall, who's here. It was something they did when they were playing Daniel Nestor and Nanda Zimonjic. Wow, nice cover from Robert Lindstedt. Coach Marshall actually reminded me that they did this in Delray this year. After losing the first set, they switched sides and came back to win the match in the final.
Yeah, normally Bob, the left-hander, is in the deuce. Mike always anchoring the ad.
Wow, great hands from Bob Bryant. Keep the ball in play there. One of the things Coach Marshall was saying as well was with this no-ad format in the deuce side, Mike Bryan can end up taking a lot more consequential returns. And it puts pressure on the servers when they go to the ad court against Bob Bryant. Keep it away from that big forehand of his.
Oh, yes. Got up well for that lob volley. Springfield replies with a hold of serve. We've got some major champions on WTT rosters this season. Bob and Mike Bryan, 16-time champions. We mentioned Lindstedt and Roger. How about Rajiv Ram having won the Australian this year? Jack Sock and Ryan Harrison. Pretty impressive lineup.
2 of those Grand Slams. Jack Sock won with Mike Bryan. Jack Sock in the ad court for that team. Mike Bryan in the deuce.
That's a lot of Grand Slam hardware. And I think they get paid for that as well.
It's a healthy paycheck.
Prize money is good when you're taking home major titles. Mentioned the Bryan brothers' 18th season. Bob is an inch taller than Mike. So if you thought they were identical, they're almost identical.
Both different dominant hands. Mike Bryan also with the sunglasses. overhead. A little bit of misdirection there. Bob crossed right as Mike was about to hit the overhead.
You can see him just call off Bob. Let him take. Robertson, what did that hit? Bounced off something. Strong game from Mike Bryan. That's 2-1. Doing well on their serve. Tim Blankiron, and again, Bob Bryan changing his rackets. Do you know what that's about? Is that tension or weight?
It's usually a tension thing. Sometimes you might want to serve with a looser racket or a tighter racket, depending on how you're feeling. Maybe a tighter racket here for the return game. Can sort of blunt some of the power from the server.
Jean-Julien Roger, also a veteran, 38 years of age. Curacao and Antilles, he's a veteran too, 5th season. Played his college tennis at UCLA, going up against a couple of Stanford players, Bob and Mike Bryan. Suddenly, the winds have really picked up here. Roger just taking a pause to look around and see what's happening.
That's going to send that chip return long.
Well, you can see some of the leaves from the nearby trees blowing all the way across to the stadium. Might just need a moment possibly to get them up. You can see the trees really moving. The flags are fully outstretched. There's a presence here now. All right, so Springfield takes the game at love. Lindstedt with a nice volley to finish it off. We're getting underway. The Lasers and the Rollers, 2 games all.
Ladies and gentlemen, due to the pre-existing weather conditions, moving this match to the indoor courts.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the match will be moved inside. We kindly ask that you gather your belongings. Everybody will be allowed in our indoor facility. Our staff will be here to escort you and point you in the right direction. It's just literally 100 yards up our left as we exit.
So welcome back, everyone.
The
And
only thing is that when we're inside, we have to abide by the Greenbrier and the CDC guidelines that we have.
see it 2 games all, and announcements being made now that we will be going indoors as these strong winds have suddenly picked up, Mark. And really, they came out of nowhere. It was a perfectly beautiful day, ready to go.
Yeah, it's that feeling you get when it's hot and humid. All of a sudden, winds come in, the humidity drops, and you know there's some weather on the way.
We'll see you inside.
Yeah, so we will take a short break. Now remember, the indoor court is only minutes away, and it takes us 15 to 20 minutes for us to get set up, get the players over, get them warmed up, and get ready to go. So it's a fairly quick transition. Please stay with us. We'll have continuing coverage of this Lasers-Rollers match. We'll have it for you, and we'll be indoors in just a few moments. Oh, my goodness. That was quite a move we had to make there.
Check, 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 check. 1, 2, 3 in the place to be. You like that?
Wow.
That's a little
That's good.
mic check. Yeah.
Back when you were, touring with Aerosmith? Or?
Back when I was DJing parties at Boston College.
Really?
Yeah, I had 2 turntables, had the mixer, got my crates of records.
So you know DJ Danny's work pretty.
Yeah, he's
Because I was
good.
wondering, you were picking up song titles, and I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
how do you know all this stuff?
Oh, yeah. I know the opening notes, yeah.
That's good.
Look at Wolf Oswald getting it done on the bench press over there. He's moving weight.
I couldn't believe it. No, people were talking about that outside.
Yeah, they said, you see how much steel, how much iron that guy's moving around?
Yeah, his muscles are like iron-like, too.
Are you using me or no?
What, later? Ooh.
Bro, you'll be fine. The rain's going to last for 45 minutes, literally. Just, if that becomes a problem, let me know. I'll make sure you get out.
Always impressed with the resilience in our squad. Toughen it out.
Gizmo makes things happen. How do you
Yeah.
think that bar is open till 12 now?
Oh, interesting.
They used to shut that at baby at 10.
That's the truth, boys. Ask and you shall receive. You want to play golf at 8 o'clock tonight? I'll make it happen. I got a lapse time on our inside move, 5, 10, 15 minutes right now.
15.
Can I reference that? Yeah, for sure I'm mentioning that.
Oh, yeah. No action on the Ryan Spooner re-signs in the KHL.
Yeah. That league. Danger.
I hear that mess over there.
Danger. That's also the league that had a
Plane crash?
60-year-old
Locomotive.
charter jet go down.
Yeah, that was ugly. So, just sort of in parallel to our open, we did talk about Coach Diager. Maybe we can show him and talk about, again, we could just sort of reset the doubles. Because that'll be the first.
Leaf, can you hear me?
Yes.
Something, the last time we came inside, I was with Tim Blankiron as well, and he mentioned that this suits them better because of their big service game from the Brian Bros and Query.
Okay.
Do you want me to tee you up for that, or no?
Sure, you could. Yeah, that's fine. I think it's good information. It'll sound really good, and it'll work well. It'll go right into our conversation.
Yeah, that's good. That's
I think
good
that'll be
stuff.
the last thing I say to you before I throw it up to you guys.
Okay.
Cool.
I like it. Get some more.
Oh man,
get
I
some more
took
KHL
that
talk.
debris right to the eyes, boys.
I had a couple people I was following on Twitter that were Blackhawk writers, and he gave me a couple more. So now I'm just totally plugged in.
It's not cold, but it's wet. Just in case you need it.
Right. Gizmo, you have a monitor, right?
Oh yes.
Okay. Obviously. I didn't see it. It's behind somebody.
Terry, our photographer, literally whips out a brand new bottle of Clear Eyes, redness relief, irritation relief. I'm like sitting here struggling to get this thing out of my eye. She's like, here, I got a brand new unopened bottle, just prepared for anything, like a Swiss Army knife.
Who is that?
Unbelievable.
It's like when Bob Costas did the Olympics with Pink Eye. Do you remember that?
I do. I mean, you're not exactly Costas. I didn't see any redness, but you can go with that story.
I think Costas with the content, though. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. You're losing your mind.
You're coming back at 40, right? 41.
Look at Michael Jordan playing pickup.
I saw that. Still got it.
Do you have that Super 70 Sports?
No,
It's
but I
really
see a lot of it.
He's coming out there just.
Yeah, what I'm gonna go like this, and then I'm gonna go check the elapsed time, guys. 20 minutes.
Can you guys get me a Shinola journal? That's all I want. Just a notebook.
Actually, yes, 100%.
They're my favorite. I go out of my way to hit the Tribeca store whenever I'm in the city.
Dude, just text me, send me the link to which one you want. I'll get it for you taken care of. I'll get it while you're here.
Dude, that'd be sick. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Do you want to? Well, just send me what you want. I'll
Okay.
get you taken care of.
Cool.
Easy to do, Mark.
Dude, you're the man. I love those journals. They're the
Oh,
best.
dude, that company's cool. I like them a lot.
Which one was it?
Shinola.
Little books?
Yeah.
Okay. Day off tomorrow.
Okay.
Gotta make sure that's right.
I'm sorry. Well, that is a look at the outdoor court, center court, Creekside, and a little rainy coming in. But the folks at World Team Tennis, they knew it was coming, and they've got a plan for everything. I mean, it is 2020, by the way. So just midway through men's doubles here at the Greenbrier. Nick Gismondi with you on Tennis Channel. Thanks for sticking with us. We'll get you back to the action real quickly right here. But as I was mentioning, World Team Tennis, they've got a plan for everything. An identical replica setup of that outdoor court inside. It's just about 100 yards away. And guys, by the watch here, that transition time took about 20 minutes. So absolutely impressive. They're warming up right now. Hawkeye's getting fired up. We're back on the air and ready to go. And the last time we did this, I actually had a chance to talk to Tim Blankiron, the head coach of Vegas, and I said, hey, how does this suit you guys? Are you okay with going from outdoors to indoors? And he said, actually, Gizmo, he goes, it suits us better. He goes, we got the big ball from the Bryan brothers and the big ball from Query. This is an advantage for us. So let's get you back up top now. Leaf, Mark, boys, your thoughts.
Yeah, thanks, Gizmo. And I think Blankhorn is absolutely right. The Bryans enjoy the ability to be aggressive on their serve, as do Robert Lindstedt, however, who's a big server. Roger likes to, use a faster pace situation to make his serve bigger and better. I think both teams will profit from being indoors.
When you talk to big servers, Leaf, almost to a man, they love to come indoors, take away the sun, take away the wind, take away any conditions.
Boy. And you see the hands that Roger possesses and then the speed to back it up.
Yeah, great return at the feet, getting a ball he wants and placing that forehand volley outside of the range of Bob Bryan.
2 games all. We've completed the first 4 games outside. Here we are indoors. Right down the center. That's a good ball.
I got in here pretty quickly, Leaf, and Lindstedt and Roger spent a lot of time hitting balls most of that break.
Another winning shot from Lindstedt. Boy, these guys have not missed a trick making the move indoors, and they seem ready to go.
Well, all set up by the Roger return. That's why Jean-Julien Roger is one of the best doubles players in the world. Even on an indoor court, he's putting returns in play, getting the ball down at your feet, and making the server or team play points. No freebies.
Yeah, something that the Bryans normally do, don't they? They're so good at getting balls back in play. Let's see if they have bounce back ability. Down a break, Lindstedt serving 3-2.
Wow, it's a really big second serve from Robert Lindstedt right in the body of Mike Bryant. Great floating return for Jean-Julien Roger to move on. That's what you said of your partner. Jean-Julien Roger is so aware up there. See the floating return starting to move to the middle.
You mentioned Roger out of Curacao when he was 12 years of age, came to Miami, and that's where he's been based out of ever since. Talked a little bit about the Bryans. Bob Bryan, normally he's in the deuce court. The Bryans have changed things up a bit, trying to turn things around. It's been a bumpy road for them this season, so Bob is now in the ad. Mike, the right-handers, in the deuce.
Oh, what a return. Mike Bryant, so stable with that racket. He's one of the best returners in doubles history. That might have caught the outside of the line.
Yeah, we were leaning in trying to get a Hawkeye look at that one. Outside edge, 15-30. Two double faults in this game. Yeah, Lindstedt quickly up to the line.
Couple good body serves from Robert Lindstedt. Body forehand after the last time trying body backhand didn't work out so well for them. Body forehand's probably a better place to serve Mike Bryant.
All right, we've got another deciding point. We had a deciding point in the opening game that Bob Bryan won on his serve. Remember, no ad scoring. Into the deuce court, Mike Bryan returning. Wow, can you believe it? Another double fall. That's 3 in the game. And here's a look at the Rollers, their 2020 results. You can see men's doubles. It's been a strong part of their play. Despite the Bryans having some losses, they're normally a lot of tie breaks.
Yeah, Vegas had some injuries with some of the female players in their team. That's why the mixed doubles numbers are probably a little lower than you would expect, as well as the women's singles and women's doubles events.
Yes, Bob Bryan just crushing a volley.
Oh, he was so close to the net. Jean-Julien Roger kept the point alive initially, but that's a too easy of a volley for Bob Bryan.
A little surprising how many double faults we've seen. Traded breaks here in this opening set. You can see 3 double faults on both sides. Oh, that was money.
That was clean off the racket of Robert Lindstedt. He read this serve the whole way. Contact out in front, true down the line.
Coach DeJager in the back. He's got this team ready to go. They might be 4-8, but they're looking for the W tonight.
Oh, that's pretty. That's an amazing touch from Jean-Julien Roger.
Yeah, there wasn't a big opening with this inside-out volley. Great points. So the Bryans get to deciding point. Just a quick look at the standings. See where Vegas is, where Springfield is. Vegas at 4-8. Springfield at 3-8, trying to stay out of the bottom. The Freedoms and Chicago locked up playoff spots. And they get out of trouble. Mike Bryan with some good serving. Yeah, I mean, if you are playing the Bryans, I mean, what kind of conversations do most teams have when they go up against them? You know, where can they find holes to take advantage of?
I think you have to figure out how to not let them do what they want to do. I think serve them body a lot, try to maybe exploit the movement. Such a good return from Mike Bryan. That's why you need to serve body.
Yeah.
When he stretches his arms, the ball's in play and the ball's coming in low.
Yeah, I think you have to hit your spots with your serve. I think returning, you have to keep them honest because they move so much. I think you have to work the lines a bit when it comes to returns.
I think you can use the bump lob when Bob Bryant's at the net, test out that hip that he had surgically repaired. And that for me is the biggest one. You can't give them free points. You can't miss balls around the net. You can't miss too many returns. You need to make them play every single point because they're already good enough. You don't need to help them out.
Yeah, Springfield will be disappointed. They had the 3-1 lead. Here they are serving to try and stay in this set. And this time Lindstedt was ready. Roger.
Yeah, he still gets up for the overhead pretty well for a veteran.
Roger, 8 of the last 9 years inside the top 20. A couple of slam titles. As we mentioned earlier, played his college tennis at UCLA. All right, here's a point for the Lasers to get into a 9-point tiebreak. Yeah, it's just a little dump volley from Lindstedt, and it worked.
Yeah, it's good awareness from Robert Lindstedt. One volley deep, next one a little short. See if Bob Bryant's comfortable moving up to it. It's a little ginger jogging that one off.
Yeah, Yeah, it's interesting to spend time as you did with Dave Marshall, the coach. You know, the Bryan brothers, they take notes before every match, and Marshall gives them a list of things they want to look for based on who they're playing. I mean, there's a lot of preparation that goes into these guys stepping out on the court.
Yeah, they actually spent a month with Bob Bryan returning serves out of the ad court this offseason, just in case a situation came up this year where they wanted to switch, just to give them the option of doing that.
First point in the tiebreak goes to the Lasers. So 1 point all. Bob Bryan enjoying that little exchange.
Well, he snapped that tweener pretty well off the lob that was out from Lindstedt.
Yeah, Lindstedt lost his serve when they were up a break. He had 3 double faults. See if he's rediscovered the rhythm.
For someone like Lindstedt, he could be having an issue with the lights. The lights, as we see, face down on the court.
You can see the Bryans, their 3rd straight match that's gone to a tiebreak. They split those 2. And they've got a 2-1 lead in this one. Yeah, you could hear that string break down at the stadium. That one was really loud. So 2 points all. The change ends of the court. Lindstedt will no doubt go and dig out a new racket out of his bag.
When's the last time you saw a broken string in competition?
That's the first one we've seen in World Team Tennis that I can remember. Of course, yeah, these strings nowadays, I think it was Guillermo Vilas, the great Argentine champion, who said, you can go to the moon with these rackets. And the string will take you places.
Yeah, most players will play each set with a fresh racket. They're usually switching out before the strings get even close to breaking.
Yeah, they're so meticulous about, okay, how many games in? Have I lost a half a pound of tension? They'll feel it, they'll know it. 3-2. The Rollers and the Bryans trying to capture this opening set.
Wow, a couple really good first serves from Mike Bryan.
All right, set points coming up for Vegas. Tim Blankiron there, lending his support. Blankiron played his college tennis at UNLV. In the Hall of Fame there. He won the NCAA doubles title, so he knows what he's talking about when he speaks about doubles.
And big servers. He had a cannon on his shoulder.
That's a little disappointing for Lindstedt, who really struggled. The Bryans taking advantage of all the opportunities they were given. They get the opening set 5-4. The Rollers hitting a hot streak.
Get ready, ladies and gentlemen, for set number 2. That will feature women's singles. Women's singles is coming up. Also, ladies and gentlemen, a white umbrella, a white WPT umbrella was missing from the court on the near side of the facility. Here are TV stands. If anyone has that umbrella, please return to a staff member ready for the TV crew. Thank you so much. We got a white WPT umbrella. If you have that or know this location, please let a staff member know. Thank you. Also, ladies and gentlemen, if you spend $250 or $11 by Venus Williams merchandise, we're going to sign behind us on Venus Williams herself.
Welcome back, everyone. The road to the King Trophy, well, it leads through the Greenbrier, and it leads through these final few days of the regular season. We'll make our way to the playoffs, the top 4 teams getting there. The Lasers and the Rollers in this one today. And up next, the women's singles, Katie McNally, Ayla Tomljanovic, who's really been playing some good tennis as a substitute for the Rollers. So a nice matchup against McNally, this emerging young American player, just 18 years of age. Tomljanovic, a player more established who's been on the tour a while. This would be a nice test for McNally.
Yeah, for Ayla Tomljanovic, it's almost like looking at somebody who was like her. She was once 18. She was a very highly touted prospect, big upside. She's sort of gone through it all on tour, had some success right away, dealt with injuries, and now is on her way back. She's currently ranked 56, career high is 39. Big backhand, pretty good serve. She had a shoulder issue, so finding that serve after surgery was a challenge. Took her a while.
Yeah, she missed a full season back in 2016 because of the surgery, so it's nice to see her back healthy. Obviously, that's a tough way to lose time when you're injured. Universal Tennis Rating, to compare the two, you can see that Ayla just a little bit better than Katie. You can see the ranking difference and a little bit better on a hard court. It's okay. Tomljanovic might be the favorite, but McNally brings sort of a unique set of talents that might cause some issues today, particularly on an indoor hard court.
Yeah, McNally likes to get into the net. She'll serve a volley sometimes. She'll chip and charge on second serves. And if you're a regular female tour player, you don't see too many opponents regularly who come into the net with the frequency of a McNally.
You know who does also come in frequently? Taylor Townsend. We saw her do that against Simona Halep at the U.S. Open.
And she could be a matchup nightmare.
And McNally will do a little bit of that, maybe a little more selective about when she comes in, but should be a good one.
Yeah, that's the #1 shot for Ayla Tomljanovic. When she's playing well, she's controlling the middle of the court and hitting a lot of backhands.
Originally out of Croatia, now Brisbane, Australia. Yeah, there's McNally. She'll come in and cut off those floating balls.
Yeah, for a player her age, she recognizes those floaters very early.
McNally's out of Cincinnati, Ohio, great tennis town in the Midwest. Her first season in World Team Tennis. Making her pro debut last year, broke through and won her first doubles title, and then her second. She was alongside Coco Gauff, so they really were one of the big stories last year, these young Americans doing big things. beautiful point.
Katie McNally, nice job using the slice and setting up her forehand. Big inside in. Gets that ball running away from Tomljanovic.
That's a good shot. Saves one of the break points. You can see her taking a big sigh of relief after that forehand found the mark.
Yeah, that's a play you're going to see from her a lot. First serve wide, set up your backhand cross court. If it comes back, you take a swing volley.
Yeah, Geico timeout. Tim Blankiron mentioned a man originally out of Australia. He came to Australia, Las Vegas when he was very young. He said, I've been in Vegas ever since. So he really is an important part of the tennis community there. He's got a tennis academy.
Ajla Tomljanovic, when she's taking her time and has good tempo, she can really pop that first serve, like we saw right there.
And she gets herself out of trouble, saves 3 break points, and gets the opening game. Boy, that allows you to play and breathe a little more comfortably.
Yeah, it's a big game for her. Should be a good confidence boost. Look for her to be really aggressive on the McNally serve. If she gets a couple balls to hit, look out, especially with her backhand.
Tried to serve aggressively there, missed it down the center line. She was going into the backhand. Maybe she felt she had to give it a little extra mustard. I prefer mine with a little ketchup and some mustard, but some people prefer just mustard.
I prefer my first serves like that, sliding into the forehand corner on the tee side.
Then you don't have to worry about second serves.
Exactly.
She got all of that forehand.
Ajla Tomljanovic is so dangerous when she has time. McNally not doing enough with this forehand.
Good time for a first serve.
You know, we've seen a lot of Katie McNally this week and these last 2 weeks on the singles, and I would like to see her get to the net more. She's so good with her volleys. She has such good hands. I'd like to see her use them more.
A couple of errors off the forehand wing, and her service game is gone. Tomljanovic just doesn't give you many errors in the back, and McNally coughed up a few that cost her.
Yeah, and the ball from Tomljanovic moves through the court, and the pace right there, we saw McNally a little trouble handling pace on the forehand side.
And I think you brought up a good thought about her game. That's what's her best feature? Maybe her transition game. Maybe her volleys right now. It was Nick Bollettieri who, we were talking today. He said, well, you want to do what you do best as often as you can.
Exactly. And the challenge for her is, as it is for most young players, figuring out how to do that and how it fits within the structure of your game. That's a better forehand. Yeah, great point from her. She did a much better job at that point, playing with length, a couple of ground strokes, stayed away from the lines, played with some margin, but she pushed Tomljanovic off the baseline with these heavy forehands. I actually thought McNally could have stepped up even closer to the baseline, taken a little bit of court away.
Beats her with the pass.
I like this play, though, because she got the ball she wanted. However, if she's closer to the baseline, she can get further inside the court to hit this approach. She was just too slow getting inside the court. Great second serve. Tomljanovic mixing up locations, getting it into the forehand corner. It's funny, I look at stats, obviously, when I help prepare my players for competition. The second serve to the forehand is maybe the highest rated winning percentage shot of all the shots.
Interesting. Why do you think that is?
I think because it's how rare it's actually done. It's by surprise. I think if you hit it more, obviously the winning percentage would go down because people would be looking for it more.
Oh, she cut it a little too thin. I think it might have been a winning shot had it cleared, but you can see her just a little bit upset that she did miss it. She's in a good position to play it, and the body English definitely didn't work out that time. Break points for McNally.
Tomljanovic again hurting McNally with pace deep to the forehand.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have another deciding point. This point will take 3.
As a deciding point, I used to try not to think about it. Okay, I'm just going to play the point I want to play. Don't think about how much is at stake. Gets the break back, so some nice play. That underspin backhand's been a very effective play for her on this indoor court.
Yeah, especially when you play that ball down the middle. A lot of players on the women's tour do not like that ball coming right down the middle to the forehand, especially Tomljanovic. She's comfortable with a little bit of angle. If you can pin her down the middle on that forehand, you'll get some balls to hit. You'll get a few unforced errors sprinkled in. Good defense from Tomljanovic. Tomljanovic moves very well, especially when you consider she's 5'11". She's a great athlete. Strong first serve from McNally.
If you grow up in the Midwest, you play a fair amount of indoor tennis. So I'm sure she's comfortable with the surroundings. Starting to find the range. Same for Tomljanovic, who grew up originally in Zagreb, Croatia. They're playing a lot of indoor tennis too.
Tomljanovic spent a lot of time at the Everett Academy in Boca Raton, Florida over the last few years.
Yeah, she trained there over the quarantine. That's a better serve, right down the tee.
I actually would be curious how heavy McNally's racket is. I just watching, and this is total, you know, armchair professional. It looks to me like she's using a racket that's too light. I would like to see a little more mass on there that would really help her. That would help her ball carry more, have a little more force behind it. It's a great serve volley play with the racket notwithstanding. But just for a young player, and for all players, you need that stability in your frame when it comes to absorbing pace from a bigger player and a bigger hitter. And for me, watching the rallies, watching the exchanges, when Tomljanovic digs in and accelerates, McNally just looks a little sort of wobbly in the hand at contact. And it comes down to being able to brace yourself and turn that defensive opportunity into an offensive one, being strong against the ball and being able to accelerate and be stable at that contact.
Here's another deciding point. I remember one coach I worked with, he told me you should try to use the heaviest racket you can without hurting your arm.
100%.
So you're comfortable with it, yet you're getting enough out of the racket. All right, deciding point. That's wide. So McNally gets through a very tight game. We've traded breaks here in the opening 4 games. So they'll change ends. We'll take a short break, but we'll come back to the Greenbrier. All right, back at the Greenbrier. Ella Tomljanovic serving 2 games all here in the women's singles. Yeah, she committed to that play.
Yeah, this play, like, she was on the baseline and she got into the court fast. She took away time getting up to the approach quickly. Like that, cutting into the court. Yeah, she looks like she's a little bit more committed now to swinging the racket and accelerating the racket head through the hitting zone.
Yeah, a lot of coaches and cognoscenti in the game talk about accelerating. What does all that mean, really? What does it talk about? You got to swing through with a lot of speed.
It means going from slow to fast with the rate at which the racket moves on the swing. And
right.
by accelerating.
Right at the point of contact.
Right at the point of contact. What the acceleration does, it creates topspin, and that brings the ball down, makes the ball go up and down fast.
And we're seeing, with these strings that the players play with, they require racket head speed, don't they? Because that's how the spin gets transferred from the swing, the strings, to the ball.
Oh, hit the roof.
Caught the ceiling.
Yeah, the rackets are strung so loosely. A lot of people, most people in the 40s or also the low 50s. The low tensions bring out the properties of the polyester strings. That far back behind the baseline, you need to get under the ball, send it back with some height.
Excellent shot. That closes out the game for 3-2. So the Rollers ahead. Katie McNally, she was working hard. Watch her footwork and movement in this exchange.
Yeah, you like to see how she's playing into the outer thirds of the court. Keep your opponent from controlling the middle.
Tomljanovic had to slam on the brakes just to get a racket on that ball. McNally played behind her well.
Yeah, that extra look when you serve and volley. So important. Again, but it's about what we talked about, putting yourself in a position to do the things you're really good at. Smart play using the kick serve on a first serve, getting the ball jumping away from Tomljanovic.
Tomljanovic has been ranked as high as 39, so she's cracked the top 40. Yeah, some good defense for McNally, though, against that heavy hitting. 3 games all. Now, McNally changing rackets. Interesting. We saw Bob Bryan doing this. The doubles, he had one for serving, one for returning. I wonder whether she's making a change for something tighter, something heavier.
Looks like her coach is going to throw on a fresh grip.
Something she can hang on to if it's the grip.
There was a grip challenge on the internet, Leaf. I don't know if you did it. You timed how fast you can put on a new grip.
What was the record? Do you know?
I don't know. I was going to ask you how fast you can go.
Pretty good. I mean, it doesn't take me too long, but On a changeover, it's a little pressure, Phil, because what, he got a minute? Someone like Richard Gasquet, the Frenchman, or Vitas Gerulaitis back in the 70s, they changed their grip on every changeover.
Springfield is now taking a Geico time.
And here's a Geico timeout by John de Jager, originally out of South Africa. A long-time part of World Team Tennis. He's been with Springfield forever. Three-time Coach of the Year. What an exchange.
Great hand to the net from both players, digging out balls, showing off some volleys, some half volleys. A little lob volley there from McNally. With a pickup from Tomljanovic.
Good from McNally, applying pressure. She's earned herself a deciding point, so a break point.
Yeah, I like how she finds her way into the net here. Gets up to that short ball quick. Nice volley technique into the open court. The racket head barely moves on the forehand volley. Very nicely done.
She's got it. Excellent sequence of shots from McNally.
Yeah, this is about court positioning. Once she pulled the ball wide against Tomljanovic, she takes court, she gets onto the baseline and gets inside the baseline. She takes away time for Tomljanovic to recover. She's inside the baseline right there. That's where she needs to play from.
A really good point on a deciding point and a chance now to serve for the set. It's a way to start off an important service game.
And she was serving and volleying on that serve. If that return came back, she was inside the court ready to knock off a volley.
Players have to take care of their own towels. The team helps take care of the tennis balls. No ball kids, no lines people. Safe conditions here on court and off.
Essential on-court personnel only.
And that's really created such a wonderful atmosphere with all the players helping each other in the back of the court. Obviously the coaches are there. Asia Muhammad on the left, who's had some shoulder issues. So she has not been able to play after a fairly strong start early. Had to pull the plug on the season. Tried to thread the needle, just missed it.
So
she
just got the freshly gripped racket back. This was a good slice from Tomljanovic, nice and deep. She should have been ready for that ball to be inside the court.
So 30 all. Not sure exactly what trying to get done. Roger Pennington on the microphone. Oh, that's so good.
What a volley from McNally. Good split step. That's a clean backhand volley, no backswing. Stable at contact right into the open court. Wide and wide.
Yeah, that is a strong game from McNally. Takes advantage of the break, closes it out on her serve. So 5-3, she takes it. And you can see the Lasers have a 9-8 lead as we head into the mixed doubles.
Up next, ladies and gentlemen, mixed doubles for the Springfield Lasers. Please welcome back Robert Lynchett and Katie McNally. And to the biggest voice, please welcome Mike Bryan and Mike Brady. Mixed doubles is next.
Well, our chosen foods mover of the match from the women's singles, Ayla Tomljanovic. She was working hard to get into position to play her ground, so plus McNally was stretching her out around the court.
Yeah, and McNally was moving Tomljanovic so that she could try to find her way to the net.
Good work there. Tomljanovic shaking her head. She did a fair amount of running, more than McNally did. Lots of hard work she puts into her legs, and she likes to move around a lot. I think she gets better the more movement she does. She doesn't come forward too often, but she's got a nice drop shot.
To hit swing volleys. Shake hands at the end.
I'm surprised that she doesn't get ranked higher. I wonder why. You know, she's never cracked the top 39. Did you watch her play? And she's got some qualities about her that make her pretty strong. Anyways, here's what's coming up next in the mixed doubles. Robert Lindstedt, the big Swede, alongside Katie, and Mike Bryan and Monica Puig. So the rollers trying to bring out the heavy artillery with Mike Bryan, and the lasers bringing out some heavy artillery with Robert Lindstedt. Both those guys play with a fair amount of power. It's always interesting to see how the women match up with the power and the pace the men bring. And you'd be surprised at the pace the women can produce these days.
Absolutely, especially Monica Puig, huge hitter off the ground. She really uses the ground well. She has very good timing as well, former gold medalist.
It's Mike Bryan serving. He starts out with the double. I'm sure Wayne Bryan told him, don't give away any free points, boys. Their dad was their longtime coach. Of course, their mom, Kathy, was a pretty good tennis player, too.
Low return from Robert Lindstedt. Springfield spent a lot of time ironing out their mixed doubles. Lindstedt spent a lot of time on the court with Kate and working on some of their set plays and where to be in which situation.
That middle. Now, whose ball is that? Is that Monica Puig who should be covering that? I know that's a tough move.
Yeah, in theory, that's a ball maybe Monica Puig can take, but if you're Mike Bryan, you're very ready for that because you know that a player like Monica Puig who doesn't play a ton of mixed won't be super active at the net.
Yeah, Puig did well there. Stood up to the Lindstedt pace nicely.
Yeah, and look at her smiling. That's big for the confidence early when the male player picks on you at the net, fires a rocket at you, and you just volley it back deep. All you got to do.
Oh, that's good reflex. So there is the break for Springfield right out of the blocks.
Nice move from Monica Puig. Didn't quite do enough with it, Robert Lindstedt. Nice job holding his ground, reflexing it back.
So Bryan is broken, and the Lasers have a lead. Now it's Lindstedt, who in one of his games in the men's doubles, double faulted 3 times. Mike's not happy with that return. And if you've played as much doubles as Mike Bryan has played, and you know the value of every point in game, you'd never like to start off a set with a break against you. Yeah, Mike Bryan, over 1,000 doubles matches, wins. Robert Lindstedt has he's going sort of getting close to 450 match wins. So a lot of experience amongst these two veterans. It's wide.
Yeah, Katie McNally getting involved there. Nice first volley and a pretty good return from Mike Bryan. McNally doing a nice move right there. That's exactly what you want from your partner at the net.
And Lindstedt saying good work. It's the way you build chemistry, you build confidence. What a return. Well, you pay for the frame, you might as well use it. Monica Puig showing us how good that can be.
Yeah, it's what we call an unorthodox lob right there. Robert Lindstedt did a pretty good job getting in position to actually play a shot there.
I had a quick thought in my mind of Lindstedt running back to hit that smash. It was Roger Federer in Basel hitting that smash off Andy Roddick's smash, winner up the line.
That was impressive.
If you haven't seen that one, check that one out on YouTube. So Lindstedt gets the game and underlines the break. It's now 11-8. One of the things I like about World Team Tennis, I think that is so good for young players like Katie McNally. You know, you've got Brandon Nakashima playing, Haley Baptiste, all 18-year-olds. Yet here they are playing with Lindstedt, Kim Clijsters. You get a lot of experience for these young people to learn from.
This gives you this window into where you need to get your game if you want to, reach your goals.
You can see how these veterans do it. These players who are so accomplished, having won major titles. Of course, Puig having won a gold medal at the Olympics. Alley. Nice return.
You also get this window into how they prepare. What do they do on the off days? What do they do in the hours leading up to the match? You get to see those little things, and that's actually probably even more beneficial than how the actually matches are played.
Well, Victoria Azarenka, multiple Grand Slam champion, former world #1. She played World Team Tennis as a teenager, as did Maria Sharapova. She's been a part of World Team Tennis on and off for a long time. So nice game from Puig, 40-15. Yeah, good serve. So the Rollers get on the board. Stops a run of games against them. Of course, Puig, her first tennis of 2020 has been World Team Tennis. Remember, she had elbow surgery, her right arm. She had some nerve issues.
So funny enough, if we look at her left wrist there, she's wearing a device that measures her activity on the court. It registers her volume of what she's doing on the court. You can look at her heart rate variability, and it tells you her recovery from one day to the other. A lot of players are using these in practice, but they're not allowed to use them in official tour competition. But this is really helpful to get data from here. Her team can use that to help structure their workouts, to help measure her load on court and make sure that she's not at risk for overuse injury after spending so much time out.
Yeah, obviously valuable information then, isn't it? Second season, World Team Tennis. Got a taste of it last year with the Rollers, and here she is back in 2020.
Nice first serve, Katie McNally, right in the pocket on the right hip.
So getting their game plan right. Little I formation, Lindstedt right down in the center. Yeah, that I formation, I mean, you give up a lot of space on the line, don't you? But that's the lowest percentage return, right? So you're going to give your opponent the chance to hit that.
Make them
make
go
an
over
error.
the high part of the net, absolutely. And so especially if you locate your first serve where you want to, that makes that shot even more difficult.
And the second serve. Lindstedt retreats to a more traditional position, obviously slightly into the middle.
Yeah, the net man, you want to make that court feel really small for the returner. You need to make that returner hit the ball away from you, and you want to take away the middle. Don't let them think that they can go through the middle and you're not going to be involved in the play. Robert Lindstedt did what he wanted to do. He had a good fake. He made Puig think that he was maybe going to go line again. She hits the ball cross court right to him, but just not able to pull off the backhand volley.
Double fault. So 8 deciding points. Vegas has the 4-3 edge so far. Katie McNally serving. Mike Bryan, I'm going to have to give you a hug for hitting a winner like that on deciding point. 2 games all. And this is how quickly things can change with a return like that. Partner, way to deliver. 2 games all. All right, the Lasers and the Rollers, 2 games all in the mix. This is Mike Bryan, the right-hander, serving in the 5th game. Lasers have an 11-10 lead. Trying to find a way to their 5th win. The Springfield Lasers trying to get their 4th win of the season. Here's the Lasers, the 2-time defending champion.
So on that first ball through the middle, that's a ball Monica Puig needs to try to hit. It was a high ball to her backhand with her second hand, with her left hand, she can volley that down firmly. Mike Bryan was caught a little by surprise when that went through the middle. There's a serious change of speed in that serve. That serve was only 71 miles an hour, but so much spin. Lindstedt was way out in front of it.
McNally doing well to try and get balls back into play. Mike Bryan with an excellent smash.
Yeah, but the help from Puig, that allows Mike Bryan to stay home and then to start moving. But if Mike Bryan is sort of stuck trying to back her up, then he's sort of handcuffed about his position on the court.
Yeah, if you can take care of your half of the court, it's going to allow someone like Mike Bryan to really get active and do what he does best. 3-2. Good body serve. Yeah, Lindstedt walks by our broadcast table yesterday, and he said, yeah, I've been doing a little bit of commentary in Sweden, calling some tennis matches, maybe trying to set up a post-tennis career. Lots of experience. He's seen the world a few times, traveling on the tour. Knows the game well. It's interesting that Sweden, for so long at the top of the game, particularly in the 80s with Wilander and Edberg and all these great Swedish players, don't really have that many Swedish guys these days. It's funny how secular it can be. Sometimes it's hot for a nation, other times no. Good finish. And a good game. 3 games all. 12-11. Looking at the top 100 rankings in Sweden in terms of singles, it's just Michael Emer, who's 68. Yeah, they used to have between 6 and 10 Swedes in the top 100.
There were high hopes for Robert Soderling. It's very dangerous.
All on the Puig serve. Of course, Puig out of Puerto Rico. Of course, Puerto Rican athlete to bring home a gold medal.
Robert Lindstedt so steady from the back of the court on the forehand side. Normally he tries to get into the net so quickly. Turn from McNally.
Break points.
what hands from Mike Bryant at the net. Robert Lindstedt unloaded on a forehand. And somehow Mike Bryant snagged that one. This was just a monster forehand right here. Almost hit that from behind his body.
How did he control that into the doubles alley? McNally nearly pulled off a miracle shot herself. Yes, McNally got in a good position, was able to finish. So the Lasers do get the break.
Great point from McNally. Like how she steps up with this forehand ball. He goes right at the legend, Mike Bryant. Now she'll serve for the set.
Yeah, and you can see the nice split step just to slow her progress. And she collected herself enough to really control the racket head on the volley. But you should be saying that. I mean, I'll leave you to say that.
Well, you're the volley expert on this team.
Yeah, but you're the expert, period. You know, I forgot to mention that Robert Lindstedt actually played college tennis. He played at Fresno State and then at Pepperdine University. Yeah, that's good. When she gets up to the net, boy, she's a force up there. We mentioned the Bryan brothers played at Stanford, and Jean-Julien Roger, who was alongside Lindstedt, he played at UCLA. So we've got 4 doubles players, all having come out of the college system. And of course, when you play college tennis, you get a lot of singles and doubles. Good heavy return. Is that a difficult decision for a young player like McNally at 18, you know, to play college, or do I go pro?
So my thought on that is that if it's a difficult decision, I think you need to go to college. I think it really shouldn't be a decision. And for her, she was on a very fast track to just outside the top 100 by this age. And for me, that's a clear indication that you're ready to play at the pro level.
Ooh, that's a hit. So Lindstedt ultimately trying to move to his left. McNally tried to go cross court and got him in the back. So Bryant and Puig at 15-30.
Lindstedt covered some ground, getting pretty far over, but not quite recovering. Maybe as fast as he used to. And McNally can needle her partner, saying, hey, it's your fault. You didn't get back fast enough.
Lindstedt trying to get involved, but Puig hit a very good shot.
Well, I think Robert Lindstedt knows as well, the longer that rally goes, Puig backhand to the McNally forehand, it favors Vegas.
Yeah.
Monica Puig kept taking more and more court, kept hitting the ball bigger through the baseline.
So you're saying he made a good move?
Yeah, I mean, he wanted to basically, you know, he knew they were going to probably lose the point if it stayed in that rally. So he was going to try to get involved.
Points to force a tie break for the Rollers.
Oh, what a volley from McNally. Shoelaces. Mike Bryant put this return so low. Katie McNally scrapes the floor with her frame and sticks it to the open court. That was like Shiras in '84.
For sure. That definitely was. Or Rafter, Henman, Navratilova.
Navratilova was who I was going to say next, yeah.
Maybe even Taylor Townsend. Taylor gets down to those low volleys, too. Still break point for Vegas. Lindstedt gets involved.
ladies and gentlemen,
So a deciding point. What's the plan?
And if I'm Robert Lindstedt, I'm probably telling his partner, find that same spot on Monica Puig, jam her, see if we can get the ball floating, and then I'll make sure the rest is done.
Lindstedt.
What hands?
That is an amazing set. They really stole that, as you thought Brian was in a good position to finish it, but Lindstedt, so nothing doing. I got the quick hands. They take the set 5-3. Well, we're short halftime. Nick Gismondi's going to get involved. Looking forward to women's doubles and men's singles after that.
At that moment, it's starting to get to the business end of the regular season. And you don't make the postseason if you don't dominate the regular season. For us, we're right on that borderline. Our ace, Kim Kleisters, has been injured, and we've been really concentrating on
coming out, I got score
kind of load management
on camera.
with her. So we had an opportunity.
Did I talk to Luke? Is this me talking to Luke? So this was today from Luke. Okay. Just after Luke, just come out on the full screen, and I'll take it from there. Roger that. If something happens with the graphic and you got to come on air with me, that's fine. Do it, and then go to the graphic if it takes you a minute to snag it. All right. On camera to start.
Great job, ladies. We'll see you later on after the nets.
Three sets in the books, 14-11 the score. The Springfield Lasers on top of the Vegas Rollers right now. Halftime from the Greenbrier in White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia, indoors after we started outside at Center Court Creekside. That weather and wind moved in, and so did we. The World Team Tennis Group ready and prepared for anything. But as you know from the top of the broadcast, today had some movement elsewhere, and that was amongst a couple of teams, the Aviators and the New York Empire, making a trade. And we had a chance to catch up with head coach Luke Jensen about that just after that trade happened earlier this morning. This is what he had to say.
Well, the trade deadline in World Team Tennis is really a pivotal moment for the entire league. When you look at that moment, it's starting to get to the business end of the regular season. And you don't make the postseason if you don't dominate the regular season. For us, we're right on that borderline. Our ace, Kim Kleisters, has been injured, and we've been really concentrating on really kind of load management with her. So we had an opportunity to attack when San Diego was knocked mathematically out of the playoffs, to being basically the best women's doubles team, and someone in Coco Vanderway that can really play singles, you know, 2-time semifinalist at the Grand Slam level, US Open, Wimbledon, who can do it all. So it is amazing to add that kind of power to this powerful roster.
Well, good stuff from Luke. Some other headlines to tell you about. The Chicago Smash clinched a playoff spot in their debut season after New York won over Washington. Freedom, same situation. They're currently #1 after a 2018 win versus San Diego. And the Aviators eliminated, so they move Coco Vandeweghe and Nicole Melikar to New York for Sabine Lisicki and Kvetka Pechki. By the way, Coco's uncle Kiki and grandfather Ernie, they got a little history in New York as well. They've worn the blue and the orange for the Knicks, that is. All right, we got more tennis action coming up from you inside from the Greenbrier. When we come back, it'll be women's doubles. McNally and Carter taking on Tomljanovic and Puig. Leaf and Mark with the call after this.
Coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, women's doubles. And for the Blazers, please welcome Katie McNally and Haley Carter. And from Vegas, Ida Tomljanovic and Monica Puig. Women's doubles is next.
So welcome back, everyone, to the Greenbrier. You can see what it looks like here on day 16. It's some light rain and pretty damp conditions, so that's why we're indoors for Springfield and Vegas. And results so far as the Lasers establish a nice lead, 14-11. Women's doubles coming up. Tomljanovic and Puig for the Rollers, taking on McNally and Haley Carter. Nice to see Haley Carter, the rookie, her first season, 25 years of age. Alongside Katie McNally.
Former Tar Heel, Haley Carter. Nice hands around the net.
Yeah, she's shown herself to be a nice addition for this team because she comes in, she can play mixed, she can play women's doubles. Really a nice player. This time she sets up McNally at the net. And you look at Puig and Tomljanovic, they don't seem like traditional doubles players per se. They don't come to the net and volley as easily or as comfortably, but they do set up each other with good ground strokes.
Yeah, they're going to try to turn this set into a cross-court competition.
It's a good first serve for Monica. Wonderful work at the net by the Lasers. Carter went back for that smash pretty well.
Yeah, showed some good ups, getting up for the overhead and directing it near the alley, making Puig move. Monica Puig showed a little indecision at that point, not quite knowing what to do with that short forehand. She's better off lacing that at one of her two opponents. Better hit from Puig. When we see singles players, or primarily singles players, play doubles, often the decision making is where they get bogged down. That brings me, to the talk I had with Bethany Maddock the other day, talking about playing doubles with Jeannie Bouchard. She was saying she was trying to remove that decision making from her. Just tell her, hey, do what you do, hit the ball big cross court, and I'll worry about the rest. Nice finish there at the net from Tomljanovic. If you're Coach Blankiron, you're going to encourage these players, hey, get out of your comfort zone, go for as many balls as you think you can take. If you think you can get that high volley, go for it.
You can see in the background there, Asia Muhammad, she's the most accomplished doubles player on the team. She's got the shoulder injury, so she has been unable to play. So it's Puig and Tomljanovic. There's Asia, wonderful athlete, wonderful tennis player. She's only gotten better through the years. Doing some good work. Hopefully she's back healthy soon.
Oh, that'll work. That'll work.
Yeah, unintentional greatness. And watch this reflex volley. First this one.
Oh, right off the throat of the racket.
And a little body English. She kicked up that right leg just to make sure it landed inside the line.
Yeah, if you make that, you get high fives from everybody.
It was worth it. Vegas on the board first. So the rollers in a two-back position.
Yeah, that's where they're strong. In the two-back position, hitting big ground strokes at the net person. Especially going at Carter. Test her hands out early. So much power in that backhand from Tomljanovic.
Yeah, she just rushed that a little bit, right on top of the net. This is love 40. So from 3 break points down in the previous game, they've got chances to go up a break in the second.
Oh, Tomljanovic got good wood on that return. Just barely missing it long. Good strike, though.
Nothing like the net cord to ruin your best intentions. She hit that well. Is it 3.5 inches higher on down the line?
I think you're right.
That was about the circumference of a tennis ball. Oh, yes. Or maybe it's even higher. I'm not sure.
I think it's 6 inches, no?
Is it 6 inches?
I thought it was 30 in the middle, 36. No, 36 in the middle. No, you're right. 3.5, yeah. 39. Nice volley.
I'm glad I was right there. I was wondering why I was missing so many up the line. So here's a deciding point. See both sides having to fight off real problems on serve. McNally with a wonderful volley to finish it in the last point. How about having the Bryan brothers in your corner giving you advice? Talk about a learning environment. That was some exchange, and in the end, McNally snapped that overhead down right at Puig. Puig did well to stay in it. I think they might have deflected off the racket.
I like that she didn't turn around, though. I like that she stood there and took it.
Yeah, some really brave play.
Katie McNally just making sure everyone knows it wasn't quite on purpose.
And we had to Google that, and I know, Mark, you were quick to Google it because we want to get that right. It's 3 feet 6 inches, so it is 6 inches higher at the net post.
3 feet at the net strap, 3 feet 6 inches at the net post or single stick.
So this net, though, wouldn't be 3-6, would it, at the singles line? Because I
No,
don't think
it
we
would be,
use a single stick.
It would be 3-6 at the post.
Yeah.
I always carry a tape measure in my bag for the net strap. Not quite enough commitment on that forehand. She needs to rip that one cross court. Too early on the sneak towards the middle for Puig. Haley Carter, too much of a veteran in the doubles game. Can't leave that early against her. A lot of spin on that second serve from Tomljanovic, getting up on the McNally forehand.
Yeah, a lot of break points in these opening games. Who's going to capitalize? Oh, that's a shot. Really good play from Carter.
A couple enormous backhands cross court from Tomljanovic, but Monica Puig just left a little too much room down the line. Haley Carter is able to thread the needle.
Yeah, good reflex. A little wide. So McNally and Carter really establishing themselves in this one. They look very comfortable in these indoor conditions. Remember, rain today, so we moved inside.
Now it's important right here for Vegas to take their time. They don't have any timeouts left, but they need to go slowly here. Make sure they refocus. Yeah, keep things simple. Big hitting cross court. If you hit big enough, your partner will get an easy volley, relatively speaking. Don't overdo it. Don't try to create too much. There's not enough room cross court to create. And leave every game here is so important, especially with Sam Querrey coming up next. Keep your team within striking distances around 2 or 3 games.
Exactly.
Oh, what a hand from Katie McNally.
She was stretched out.
Full reach right here.
I think that hit both sides of the racket. She'll take it. Chance for the Lasers to get the 3-1. It's been a real struggle to get through these opening games. Had a break point in every game, including this deciding point. Puig stepping out and able to finish. So we trade breaks in the early goings. 2 games all, Lasers and Rollers. We got a good one. Well, the Springfield Lasers have a 16-13 lead. You can see we're in the heart of the women's doubles, 2 games all. Leaf Shires alongside Mark Lucera, one of the best coaches here at the table with me. Of course, I'm kidding.
Nice finish from Tomljanovic.
Working with Stevie Johnson and doing a great job. Stevie's having a pretty good season. He's starting to play some good ball.
Yeah, he played really well today against Brandon Nakashima. I was really excited about the positive energy he brought to the court. Did a great job breaking Nakashima twice. You don't see that too often in World Team Tennis.
And the Breakers getting the win against Chicago. That was a nice victory.
Little heat check right there from Haley Carter. Had a great pass down the line before that last changeover. There's Sam Querrey in the background. He's getting ready, feeling the beats from DJ Danny. Last 2 points in a row, they've gone at Ayla Tomljanovic, testing her out.
And is that something you talk about before the match, or is that just happening?
Yeah, especially when you're playing air quotes singles players, you're going to hit a lot of returns up the line because they're not looking to volley. They're hoping the ball goes by them and it goes to their cross-court partner. Great serve, Puig setting up Tomljanovic. Tough to hit that lob down the line like that and double from where Puig was inside or on the baseline. Obviously, the court's a little shorter there. It's easier to hit that ball cross court.
Puig breaking down on the backhand, so a deciding point. This will be the 4th in these 5 games.
Looks like Katie McNally's going to take it.
Applies enough pressure and makes it count. So the Lasers get that break advantage back.
Just an amazing lob down the line from McNally. Good swing volley here, good enough to throw off the timing of Tomljanovic. It's a big game there for the Lasers to get the break.
Yeah, 3 straight breaks of serve. Let's see if McNally can get to 4-2.
Big hitting from Puig out of the corner, but Tomljanovic caught maybe with her hands down there. Wasn't quite ready for the swing volley.
Too many lobs from Tomljanovic.
What's interesting, if you watch Tomljanovic running around the court here, it's just a really good example about how you need to split no matter where you are in the court or where you're going. When your opponent's about to hit, you need to split step and make sure your racket's up so you're ready at all moments for if the ball comes your direction. Great finish from Haley Carter. Textbook play right there, right on top of the center strap. She makes her move, go straight forward, up covering 2/3 of the court probably right there, and puts that ball almost into the stands.
That's a good serve and a love service game. So that'll settle down the Lasers. And so many close games up until that one.
It's like a sub. Is a sub coming in?
Olga Gavortseva, out of Belarus, very talented player, 31 years of age, played Fed Cup, singles and doubles.
Good.
Nice volley through the middle of the court there from Monica Puig. Good awareness of that big space in the middle.
Yeah, she's born in Pinsk, lives in Minsk. That net cord rolled over. It's a break the rollers could use. You can see how desperate a situation is for them. They're down 5 games, so they want to try and get as many games as possible before we get to the final event, the men's singles.
Nice first serve there from Ayla Tomljanovic.
Fourth season, World Team Tennis.
Oh, there's a backhand down the line. Oh, it's the best shot in the Tomljanovic arsenal. That backhand up the line. She hits it so clean. Nice wide base. What a strike.
Sure was. I mean, it looked like all her weight and her direction was going to her right, and she hit it in the other direction up the line. I think she was moving to her right to get around to hit the two-hander, so he didn't have to hit a forehand. All right, here's Gavortseva serving for the set.
Tough to come in. She probably hasn't hit serves for maybe the last 2.5 hours. A lot of kinesio tape on that arm.
Gavortseva and McNally just closing in on the net, applying all sorts of pressure, and it paid off.
Yeah, Olga Gavortseva actually hit a great cross-court backhand early in that point that turned the tables on the rally. Got Katie McNally that swing volley that they both closed in on.
I think she likes that shot. You got to stay away from that forehand. Danger time.
Yeah, Monica Puig, just too much time here. So dangerous when she has time to set up.
Yeah, great to see her back playing healthy. Remember, she had the nerve problem in her right elbow, had surgery at the end of last year. It's her first tennis since October of 2019.
Yeah, she's really worked hard to get back on the court. As mentioned, had surgery at the end of last year, went up to HSS in New York. They did her elbow. That's where Mike Bryan had his hip taken care of. So many players go there. Big hitting. The depth of Puig. When she has her depth, her ball goes through the court with so much force behind it. Really difficult to catch up to. She can be very imposing when she's on the baseline and timing the ball well.
It seems like she gets a lot of power from the ground up, you know, good sort of establishing those legs.
Yeah, she's really good at getting low with a wide base.
So we got another deciding point. We've had a few of these in this game. So this is a set point for the Lasers. They're going to think about this one. Yeah, lots of information to process there, but they've got the game plan right. Gavortseva serving. is the first serve. That's game planning. 5-3 the Lasers. Strong set of tennis. We traded breaks early, and then another break for the Lasers, and Gavortseva, who came in off the bench, serves it out. 5-3. Men's singles to close it out. Welcome back, everyone. This very special place, the Greenbrier Resort, here in White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia. Really is a beautiful spot. Last event of the Lasers Rollers matchup, Mitch Kruger taking on Big Sam Query. And there's Sam. I don't think Monica Puig knows that we have her on camera. She's dancing and singing on the bench, but she has to be happy about how she's been hitting the ball and being healthy.
Well, this is Mark Anthony.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Sam said, hey, I've got to play a set. Can you keep it down over here? I think we should give her the guaranteed rate player of the match so we can have a conversation with her.
A fellow Puerto Rican, Mark Anthony.
Exactly. Some good tunes. It's a good tennis. That's what makes World Team Tennis great. This is not the All England Club. All right, Big Sam Query. Serving first against Mitchell Kruger.
That was emphatic.
So he's been around World Team Tennis now, 8th season. Very tall, very athletic. 32 years of age.
We were chatting before the match, and I was saying, you know, Sam, is it, you know, it's near the end of the season, your team's had a tough year, is it tough to get up for this match? He said, no. He says, I do not like this Springfield team at all.
Well, he's going to have to take out Mitch Kruger, who's a tall, strong athlete, 6'2", out of Dallas, Texas. Guy's had a good season. Yeah, Mitch did some training in Orlando at the USTA National Campus, and this season he's beaten Jack Sock, beat Tommy Paul. He's really had some nice wins.
Yeah, he's really played some good tennis over the last week, actually. Beat Brandon Nakashima one day. Actually beat my guy, Steve Johnson. Really put in the work this past offseason. Back in Dallas with Coach Dave Licker there. Worked on beefing up that serve. Ironing out the forehands really looks a lot better. Had a really strong start to 2020. Oh, it's big hitting from Sam Querrey.
Yeah, that's the kind of tennis that has always distinguished Querrey. Look at their universal tennis ratings, how they compare. Sam Querrey a lot stronger, despite not playing a lot of tennis of late because of the abdominal issues last year. Mitch Kruger still trying to play his way inside the top 150 and the top 100. Not bad numbers from Kruger, 14.73. But he's a guy who would like to play more ATP tennis. It's nice to play the futures and the challenges, but you don't want to get stuck down there. Obviously, that's sort of a transition tour, if you will.
Yeah, those challenger level events, that's a circuit you don't want to play for too long because you can get bogged down there, and that can, obviously it stalls your progress. You want to try to move through those events as quickly as you can.
Yeah, love 30. I think there was a time when you could maybe play 6 months of challenger tennis and have enough to sort of get into that 120 top 100 range. Now, maybe 9 months to a year of something like Tommy Paul last year, who went 30-5 on the challengers, won 3 titles. Suddenly that gave him the momentum to get ATP events played, and now he's made another step forward. And hopefully, for Tommy's sake, okay, maybe he won't have to play challengers again. Although some players do dip back down and play there, get the winning habit going.
Yeah, over the last few years, there's been a bigger push to add more high-level challengers, $125,000 events, $150,000 events. And a lot of ATP guys will drop down throughout the year, especially if the schedule accommodates, and play some of those to supplement breaks in the calendar at the ATP level.
Lucky to get away with that. I mean, he gave Querrey a lot of forehands, and you play that wing at your peril.
Yeah, if Sam Querrey is able to set up points with his forehand and hit a couple in a row, you are in trouble. You need to make him move or try to pin him in the backhand so that Kruger can use his own backhand.
And Kruger does have a good two-hander.
Kruger, he made Querrey defend. He won the battle of court position. He got on the baseline. You see Querrey running around by the World Team Tennis logo. So Kruger wrong footing him, going behind a couple times, setting up that nice forehand winner up the line.
Good work to get to a deciding point. He's given himself a chance. Obviously the 1 point to decide it. No ad scoring. Coach DeJager there giving him full support. And DeJager's a competitive player, former player, now coach. He wants this win. I'd like to see him close out. Remember, they got this 4-game lead, but if Query gets a break, suddenly things could look very different. To find your way back against someone as dangerous as Query.
No, that was some serious depth, too, from Kruger on that backhand up the line.
Very accomplished doubles player when he was on the tour. Tremendous success in World Team Tennis, leading the Blazers to the last 2 King trophies. Incredibly, they were in the finals 5 times before that, had never been able to raise the trophy. Finally, they did that in 2018.
Well, Sam Querrey, 123, second serve into the body.
Talking just a little bit about challenger tennis. It's the U.S. Open this year, no qualifying. So they were able to put together some money for the players who would have played in the qualifying. They got first-round prize money, and they sent out to the players $11,600, as well as establishing 4 challenger events that the U.S. Open is going to, fund and establish. So some real nice opportunities for those guys who are ranked sort of outside that top 100 and are missing out on U.S. Open qualifying possibilities and prize money. And love service game from Query. Typically tough on serve. Here's a look at the last 5 champions. We mentioned the Lasers. 2018 was their first ever King Trophy. Orange County Breakers, San Diego Aviators. It was all Southern California in 16 and 17. 2015 was the last of 5 straight titles. The Castles in Washington. They also won one in 2009, so they have 6 trophies.
Yeah, it's really important for Mitchell Kruger to get free points on his first serve. The last time they played, he only won 33% of his first serve points against Query. See Mitchell Kruger trying to keep that second serve away from the Query forehand. Sam Query was dropping back, trying to get a forehand that he can really hit heavy, push Kruger back. And a good first serve from Kruger.
And this is what it's like at the challenger level. When you get a guy like this popping 122 into the corners, very competitive all down the line. And for professional tennis. Kruger's mom and dad played college tennis, so he was inspired at a young age to pursue tennis as well.
Oh, what a backhand down line. That's the best shot in the Kruger arsenal.
Yeah, nice two-hand up the line. And he ups the score, his tally to 2 games. So we're even here in the final event. All right, welcome back, everyone, to the Greenbrier. As you can see, we're in an indoor hard court. Conditions earlier today, we had a fair amount of rain. Let's see whether matches later today will they be inside or outside. We'll complete this match, obviously, here on this beautiful indoor court. And that first serve sets up so much in his game. It's not a winner or an ace. He gets good position on the next ball.
Wow, great wide serve from Query. As you mentioned, that serve can get up a lot of short balls. And that's something he worked on a lot during the last 3 months, getting into the net.
And that was 131. He'll tee it up again.
131 the other way.
He is an absolute serving machine.
Just very little wasted motion in that serve. Toss gets up just about as high as he can make contact, not much higher.
I always enjoy bringing up that story about him beating James Blake in Indy and hitting 10 aces in a row. I mean, that's hard to think about that, right? Yeah. 2.5 games. And I asked him about that. I think it was 2 games and then a couple points into the tie break before James finally got a racket on a ball.
Oh, nice kick serve from Kruger. This court does a good job taking the spin and sort of amplifying it. Especially if you have a good kick, give it a little extra.
Query going for the drop shot. I don't think he felt confident about winning that game with the kind of serving that Kruger was producing. Tries to just maybe plant a seed. Could try something outrageous. There's Jean-Julien Rougier, a little laser teammate. So the lead is 5 games. Again, remember, Vegas is the trailing team. Query can win the set, and that chance to get into extended play, maybe force a super tiebreak. And obviously, if the lead team, the Lasers, win, it's over. Query missed about 3 months of tennis last year. Abdominal injury. So one reason the player who was formerly number 11 in the world is now 45.
Yeah, and depending what time of year you miss your time, you can really lose out on big chunks of points. And for him, it was right in the middle of the season. There's so many points concentrated in Grand Slams.
Yeah, it happened right after Wimbledon. He missed 4 weeks. As he got to the quarterfinals of Wimbledon, I mean, it seems like every year now he beats some top player. This year, or last year, was Dominic Thiem. We're losing to Rafael Nadal in the quarterfinals. Good tennis. The backhand volley winner gets him another game, so he's within 4 games. So if he could get a break here, be 22-19, then he'd have to, win consecutive games in extended play until it was even. Of course, if Kruger wins 1 game in that time, it's over too.
So he breaks here, then he's serving first. It's only 1 break.
Yeah, it's very doable.
Only 1 break in extra time. He has to break here, so he needs 2 breaks in a row.
Exactly, so you're right. If it goes into a tie break, it would only be 1 game that he would add to that deficit.
Down to feet of Kruger.
I actually thought Kruger was going to make that. He just cut it a little too thin. Maybe it didn't need to be that good.
Left it short like some of my putts yesterday. It was a great forehand line from Kruger. Really simplified his take back. His coaches have done a great job shoring that side up. Just racket head up, nice turn.
So 30-all, he's not out of trouble yet. Kruger trying to get himself to a 9-point tiebreak.
Sam Query not too thrilled with that return.
Yeah. Now, second serve, when he hit the pipe at the bottom of the net, you can see him shaking his head. Did I just hit that? It's a point for a tiebreak. ball. You thought he could have taken that in the air. Instead, he went with the ground stroke, missed it. So we've got a 9-point tiebreak to decide this one. Kruger trying to close out the Vegas Rollers. First man to 5 points.
It's tough to create that angle from the middle of the court, even with that backhand, that inside-out backhand that Kruger likes to hit occasionally.
That's the play. These guys hit the ball so good off the ground that oftentimes I think they think to themselves, I've got to hit a winner. Instead of, like Andre Agassi used to say, just move the point forward to my advantage until I can maybe finish it as easily as that little volley. See how Kruger responds to this pressure. Love two. Nice answer there.
Yeah, those free points on serve that helped him make the semis at Newport Beach this year, though. $125,000 challenger. We had a big win over Taylor Fritz. Semied again at the Indian Wells Challenger.
Too much.
A little indecision there. I thought Kruger was going to hit that forehand inside out. There's a lot of open court over there.
2 points all. Or is that 3-1? I think it would be 3-1 Query, right? That forehand was out. See if they correct that scoreboard. But again, that's a difficult ball up high like that, generating pace. I mean, that's a ball you need to make. Right?
Yeah,
and not go for a winner.
And just again, the court is just small enough when you take it inside in, just a little less court to hit into. You get a further distance when you hit inside out. More room to miss your target, actually.
3-1. Sets within reach. Nice points. Kruger, who was on the run, but he just maintained length, depth, and some good legs defending. So Query gets one of his 2 service points, and that's good enough to get him to 4-2. So these are set points, which would put the Rollers extended play position.
And Mitchell Kruger has 3 serves here.
That was a good try.
We've seen a lot of guys this week up 4-2 in the breaker, but all of a sudden it's the other guy serving. They end up losing the tiebreaker because that dude has 3 chances to win.
Yeah, it's got the slight advantage at the very end of this sort of set tiebreak. Now it's out. Tried to serve and volley, had a volley that was playable. Query takes the set 5-4, so that means we will have extended play. So if the 5th set is won by the trailing team, as the Rollers have done, and the trailing team is still behind in the overall score, which they are, the match goes to extended play. It'll continue until the leading team wins 1 game, or the overall score is tied. Once tied, a super tiebreak will be played. 23-19 is the score in extended play, so Query would have to win 4 games. So he'll roll the dice and see if he can pull off a miraculous comeback. And of course, Kruger just needs to get 1 good game. And the Lasers will have win number 5.
Mitchell Kruger will be serving first. Tough task for Query. Sam Query's over there telling his teammates it's hard to see the ball. Sam Query's looking against a white wall that's behind the blue half wall behind Kruger.
All. Our booth is just behind the court and off to the side, and we had a visitor roll by. It was young Ford Query. Mom Abby was strolling in by us on her way back to the hotel. That's been big excitement for Query in his life, Sam. His first event with Ford here.
And we should say a very well-behaved Ford Query coming by our booth.
Exactly. He was a good-looking young man. We were going to put him on the spare headset, but we decided we'd better talk to Sam instead.
Big hitting for both players. Really cool angle there. You can really see the shape of the ball, the amount of up and down the players put on each shot from the baseline.
So these are match points for Mitch Kruger. What a forehand this man possesses.
Sam Query just unloaded on 3 forehands in a row. 2 humongous forehands down the middle of the court before getting this inside in right there. So much spin on that ball.
Match point number 2.
Great serve from Kruger.
He capitalizes with the ace. So Kruger takes the game in extended play, and that clinches the victory for the Lasers. So 24-19. Yeah, nice performance by the Lasers. They won 3 of the sets right in the middle. Really nice performance by 18-year-old Katie McNally. She's our guaranteed rate player of the match by virtue of her win over Ayla Tomljanovic, and also her contribution in the mixed doubles, which she took 5-3, and the women's doubles 5-3. So she was pulling in 15 games today for the Lasers, and they win. You can see Robert Lindstedt, her partner in the mixed, congratulating her. So congratulations, Katie. We'll have a word with her when we come back. We're going to take a short break. As you can see, the Lasers happy about getting their 4th win. And also, our Chosen Foods mover of the match, Something we like to look at to show you who's putting in the hard work, who's putting in the hard miles. Kruger and Query battling it out, both men doing some good work with their feet to get this artillery that they possess off the ground in position.
Yeah, when Sam Querrey gets a hold of a few forehands, if you're his opponent, you better be ready to run.
And Mitchell Kruger is our chosen foods mover of the match by virtue of outrunning Sam Querrey. All right, so we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll have a word with our MVP. That's Katie McNally.
Yeah, I just need to know if Springfield's still in it, because it just changes my lines of questions. Do we have any idea? If not, I can play it safe. Okay. 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 Nick Ismandi, 1, 2, 3. Nick Ismandi, 1, 2, 3 from the Greenbrier. Okay. How many questions? 2, 3? What do you want?
As many as you have, I guess.
All right. You can hear me okay over there, Catherine?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, so settle in. This will be like a 45-minute interview.
Sounds great.
We're going to talk about your early beginnings. We'll talk about life. We'll go philosophy after that. And then you could just, give me your brief thesis on world peace and curing cancer.
Oh, God.
World Team Tennis is brought to you by Geico. Did you know that right now, Geico is offering an extra 15% credit on car, motorcycle, and RV policies? That's on top of what Geico can already save you. So what are you waiting for? Visit geico.com to learn more. By the Greenbrier Valley in West Virginia, home to scenic trails and quiet rivers, friendly mountain towns, and America's resort, the Greenbrier. And by Chosen Foods. Join them in their sun-drenched utopia and visit chosenfoods.com. The avocado celebrated.
Final score, 24-19. The Springfield Lasers defeat the Vegas Rollers in this one, our second of 3 matches. Glad to have you with us indoors here on the Tennis Channel. Nick Ismandi with you post-match. Highlights and more coming up from Leaf and Mark in just a few moments. But first, let's have a chat with our guaranteed rate player of the match, Catherine McNally, standing by, socially distanced away and on court. Well, Catherine, 3 big wins for you at a time in the season when pretty much every single win now counts. You guys have to win out to put yourself in a postseason position. Take me through the mentality coming into today.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're kind of in last on the standings, but as a team, we're going to keep fighting. We're going to keep competing every single point. And today, we kind of said Albert Einstein, we're going to mathematically, get our way into the playoffs. I'm just happy that I could pull through for my team, and I think we all did a great job today.
Your first year playing World Team Tennis. What's been your overall impression? Do you like the format? Are you enjoying the team atmosphere, the coaching on court, etc.?
Yeah, definitely. It's very new for me. I'm so used to being out there by myself, so it's a great experience to have teammates, and I'm so lucky that I have such great teammates, a great coach out here. I'm learning so much about doubles, singles, and the format's definitely very different. Just getting used to it, and I think today was definitely my best day. Definitely settled in more and played some good tennis.
I think this goes without saying, but the mentality with the team obviously positive right now. That's a huge step in the right direction with just a couple matches to go.
Definitely, yeah. 3 more days, just trying to take the positives out of each day and just keep competing, going as a team, and we can only be positive and just give our best each day.
Catherine, thank you so much for joining us. Our guaranteed rate player of the match. Good luck the rest of the way. Hopefully, we will see you in the postseason. All right, guys, Catherine McNally, we got more for you coming up from the Greenbrier. Don't go anywhere. We'll get you back upstairs with Leaf and Mark. We'll have highlights and more for you. The Springfield Lasers defeat the Vegas Rollers 24-19. More coming to you live from the Greenbrier here on the Tennis Channel right after this. Don't go anywhere, folks.
So welcome back, everyone. The Greenbrier here in West Virginia. The Lasers pull out a victory against the Vegas Rollers. They get their 4th win of the season, 24-19. Here's what the highlights look like with the Rollers and the Lasers. Men's doubles kicking off. Bob and Mike Bryan taking on Robert Lindstedt and Jean-Julien Roger. 4 veterans, all Grand Slam champions. A lot in this one. Very tight match. We started this outside and the weather was perfect. Suddenly high winds and rain. Moved indoors, and this is how it unfolded indoors.
Oh, Bob Bryan, so effective around the net. Big recovery for the Bryans after losing serve right away in the transition indoors.
And how about Mike Bryan in the deuce? The Bryan brothers switching sides on the return, and it paid off in this one as they took it 5-4 in the 9-point tiebreak. Next up, the women's singles. Katie McNally, Ajla Tomljanovic. Tomljanovic, an addition this season to the roster of the Rollers. McNally, very strong. Tomljanovic with the drop shot winner.
Katie McNally really committed to coming forward after a slow start, down a break, took the break back.
Yeah, there was the break. Set that up nicely. You liked her position when she finished. And how about the serve and volley?
Oh, old school, so good coming forward, young Katie McNally.
Set point, and there it was, 5-3, the teenager. Mixed doubles next. Mike Bryan alongside Monica Puig, Robert Lindstedt, and McNally getting it going. Lots of good tennis in this one.
Look at those hands from Mike Bryan. Pulling a rabbit out of a hat with that volley.
That ball looked like it was by him, but he kept it going. Katie McNally, so good in her transition play. Look at the technique right out of the textbook. Here was a set point. And Lindstedt comes up with a reflex volley. The Lasers. Lindstedt and McNally take it 5-3. Women's doubles. Puig, Tomljanovic, McNally, and Haley Carter.
This set was all Springfield, except for that one off the throat of the racket of Ayla Tomljanovic.
Like the body English. But the Rollers were in trouble. They got the break back with Carter playing some nice tennis. And here was another break for Monica Puig, finishing it off at the net. Now a substitution as Kovortseva would step in and try and serve it out, a deciding point, and they took it. So they win 3 straight events right in the heart of this one, 5-3. Finishing it up, Sam Querrey and Mitchell Kruger in the men's singles. Here's Kruger for the Lasers.
Oh, that's the Kruger bread and butter, the backhand up the line.
Like to see Sam Querrey playing that transition tennis. Obviously the weapons in the backcourt help him play in the front court. And how about this? Sam Querrey takes the tiebreak, forces extended play. The Lasers needed to win a game.
Look at the depth from both players. Mitchell Kruger with the great defense, drawing the error from Querrey there.
And match point, one swing of the racket, and Kruger gets it done, takes the game, and clinches it for the Lasers, 24-19. It's a nice win for the Lasers. They took 3 of the 5 sets. The other 2 sets that the Rollers won were tiebreak sets. So a nice move by Springfield, who really showed some heart coming into 3-8, disappointment in their season, but they delivered tonight. Coach DeJager will be happy about that. Here's a look at the standings. We know Philadelphia and Chicago have clinched. Springfield and Vegas battling to stay out of the bottom with the San Diego Aviators. So that's what it looks like here in 2020. We'll come back to the Greenbrier in just a moment. We'll wrap it up on a day that started in sun, ended indoors because of the rain. The Lasers with a win. Such a beautiful setting here at the Greenbrier for the 45th season of World Team Tennis. Lasers taking out the Rollers in this one. Our chosen foods mover of the match, Ala Tomljanovic. Boy, she did a lot of running, trying to battle young Katie McNally.
That set turned when Katie McNally decided she was going to stop running and make Isla do all the running.
Yeah, McNally decided to come in a little more, and her aggressive play won her that set and helped the Lasers get over. Our DraftKings look at the upcoming TC broadcast. Tuesday's a busy day with Washington, Springfield, Philly, and San Diego. And Wednesday, 3 matches. Chicago and Philly, that'll be good. Sloane Stevens taking on Sophia Kenin. So plenty of good team tennis matches on TC. Hope you can follow it. All right, so a battle of 2 teams who've struggled, but they played with a lot of spirit and a lot of heart, featuring some of the biggest and best names in the game. Tuesday at 11 a.m. Eastern, the Castles taking on the Lasers right here on Tennis Channel. For Mark Lucero and Nick Gismondi, and for our production team right here at the Greenbrier, I'm Leif Shira saying so long, everybody.